Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We mentioned at the beginning of the All Star event that Paris is the city of love. And for two very special people in our audience, that is definitely true.
I am here on the floor of the Zenith for a fan interview with Eric and Beatrice. And well, normally I would be the one asking the questions, but I heard that, Eric, you actually have a question of your own.
Basically I was really happy to come here, and in fact my girlfriend told me, I told her I wanted to give her a Doran ring. I couldn't find anything here on stage, so I found something else. I wanted to ask her if she wants to become my wife for the rest of my life.
Yes.
And this is all the ring we could have.
Couple Eric and Beatrice, and there's actually a special guest who'd also like to say something to them.
I saw what happens, and I'm really happy for you guys. I want to give you guys something. Congratulations first off, and I'm glad you guys found your support.
Thank you very much.
Really wish you guys good luck.
Guys, one more time for the happy couple, Beatrice and Eric. Fantastic stuff here. And now I propose that we toss back to the guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Sharks. I will accept that proposal gladly.
Yeah, see, Doublelift was learning Korean a while ago when I was still in a CLG house, so I'm wondering when he's going to pop the question to MadLife.
We'll have to find. I'm not sure MadLife would accept. Welcome back to day 3 of All Star Paris. We are just moments away from our first semi-final series between Cloud9 and OMG. Now, Cloud9 has taken down World Elite and OMG in the group stages of the last tournaments that they've played in. But this is the first time that they've played a non-European team in the semi-finals of a tournament, or a best of 3 for that matter. But let's not forget that Cloud9 did beat OMG yesterday, and part of the reason was their pick and ban strategy. Deficio, how did it help them?
Well, actually on the side of OMG is the one I want to rant at a little bit here, because their bans yesterday, it seemed like they didn't actually prepare them. First of all, they banned away Kassadin, even though Cloud9 have banned Kassadin themselves in the games. They banned it on blue side, still they banned away Kha'Zix, even though Media's been playing Elise pretty much non-stop. Why would you waste a bandit on a jungler? And also the ban away Thresh, even though Elimination has shown he can play multiple supports, and also he favored Morgana.
Well, not only that, but I have to say that, in my opinion, Alan hasn't been at his best when he's not on Thresh in this tournament. That's really been his biggest outstanding game so far, so you would think they would place a little bit more priority on that.
And also, step back, take a look at the side of Cloud9. Link, the substitute that stepped in there, has been playing particularly well. Has adjusted from day 1 to day 2. We've seen a growth in the communication and the level of play, and he's still playing those sort of supporty champions that we've been seeing from the team.
I'm glad at least one CLG member is performing at All Stars.
Me too. But the thing about Link, though, is you can say, yes, he's played 3 games on Lulu, but he's, as many LCS teams know, he's a very difficult mid laner to ban out just because of the size of his champion pool. And really, Cloud9 hasn't been challenged particularly on their picks so far. They've been picking a lot of the same champions, and we still have maybe that Soraka coming out from Link, maybe the Rumble coming out in the top lane from Balls. These are very powerful champions on this patch, and they're just sitting inside of Cloud9's pocket.
And all the champion picks for Link just fit in with Cloud9 so well, because they don't need him to be like a solo carry. They have so many options with Balls, with Sneaky, with Meteors, so they need to support this guy in the mid lane, and he's been doing it so well. And then with Sneaky, he's actually the only guy, or Cloud9 is the only team where the AD carry has the most damage done overall. All the other teams is the mid laner, but for Cloud9 it is Sneaky, and he's like 14% ahead of the rest of the team, so he's doing so well.
That is one thing. If he gets shut down, it does mean Cloud9 may be in trouble.
Fantastic.
Now, let's talk about the other side of the rift. You've mentioned OMG's pick ban strategy being somewhat weak. I want to focus specifically on their play. They did take part last year at Worlds. They went 7-1 in the group stage. That loss was only to SKT. They do have experience against Western teams again, this international stage. Day one, they looked fantastic. Xiyang was unstoppable. He had a 31 KDA. Day two, that dropped down to 2.3. Freak, as the resident OMG expert, how do you explain that?
It's basically the quality of opponents. Like, when you're beating up on people, right, when you're fighting, no offense, but like dudes like Morning and dudes like Peke, who like, Peke's good, but he's just playing a farm lane. Like, you're allowed to just sit there and get a bunch of kills overall throughout the team fights, and like, OMG dumpstered their opponents the first 2 days. Like, that's how it kind of happened. And they started fighting harder opponents, and they went 0-2 the last day. And well, when you lose games, your mid lane is going to do worse. And when a team's built around Xiyang like it is, that guy's score individually is going to very much reflect how the team does.
See, I don't know what OMG's coaching staff exists of, but I hope they really had a chance to watch these games and mostly improved in terms of their vision control, because I feel whatever they pick, they know they have a big enough champion pool for one. I can understand. Maybe Alan is more comfortable on Thresh and all, but they really want to go for better vision control, and they just don't want to get caught like in brushes like they did. They pink warded Tri-Brush one time, and then they moved to Golems and just sat there, and because they were warded, they lost the Baron. Just because they sat in the bush that they didn't clean. And mistakes like that will get punished in these series.
So just another stat here. OMG is actually the team who bought the second most wards, but they're just so terrible where to place them and to protect them as well.
That's actually interesting.
There was a time where all the outer turrets are gone, and they place 8 wards in the river, and then they fall back to their own base. And you're like, okay, yeah, you can see the entire river, but not your own jungle. And it's just been the issue to know where to place the wards. And then they actually went on to the Chinese Twitter, what was it called again, Monty? Weibo, and said, we didn't actually take the games too serious, you know, yesterday we were already moving on to the playoffs here, so I need to see today if they're just going to change up everything and come in full try-hard.
Well, I'm happy you say that, because that is going to lead us to the moment our analyst desk is required to predict who they think will win. Since we've moved into the semi-finals, all of your votes will now be worth 3 points for the correct answers. So, let's get some predictions, guys. I'd like to point out as well, all of these ballots were lodged in secret. I do not know them myself. So, Deficio, who will be advancing to the finals of All Star Paris? Will it be Cloud9 for Apple Pie and Freedom, or will it be OMG?
Well, it's going to go to 3 games, I'm 100% sure. It's going to be very close. However, I will give it to OMG. I think they can come in here, and as long as they've watched the games from the last week, or from yesterday, of course, fix some of the issues, and also ban away the Twitch, I think they can win.
I believe in Apple Pie. I'm going with Cloud9 here just because we've heard OMG say things in the last day. We're going to fix our strategy. We're going to do this. We haven't shown our picks, but that doesn't really matter. As long as Cloud9 can ban out the bully lanes, they will continue, I think, to make better decisions, to protect wards better, to win the vision game, and I think that's going to give them an edge, and I do think it's going to be a 3-game series.
I disagree, actually. I think based on what Cloud9 has shown, I feel if OMG targets the Twitch, which they shouldn't be too prideful, and if they play a little more serious, because I actually think they could have played a little harder yesterday, and I think it's not the right attitude to go into the games, but I feel they must have learned out of the last game that they will go 2-0 in this series.
Wow, let's see. Before you go in, Freak, I just want to remind everybody, on day 1, segment 1 of our show, you called OMG to win this tournament.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put words in your mouth as well.
Okay.
And quote you saying, this is the first tournament, international tournament in a year and a half that a Korean team hasn't won.
Well, that could still be Cloud9.
Could still be Cloud9.
Yeah.
But where do your allegiances lie? Is it Cloud9 or OMG?
Well, I've got these 2 things here, one of which is the wonderful Crepo mask, the other one is still the OMG scarf, and that is going to be my vote here.
By your powers combined?
By the powers combined of Crepo and the OMG scarf, the Chinese team is going to win the semifinal. Individual skill-wise, I think Xiang's going to have a great time fighting against Link. I think Agoing's going to keep doing awesome. He'll actually have a great game this time around. And the bottom lane as well, as long as Alan plays a freaking initiating support, they're going to be fine, and I say OMG.
No Nami is what we're looking for there. Well, there you go, guys. Let's see how your votes compare to LOLesports.com votes, because 72% of you are calling this game for Cloud9. It is a role reversal. They're sitting on the side of Monte Cristo. Anyways, that is it from us here at the analyst desk, so let's send it over to Joe and Kobe at the caster desk to take us away for the play-by-play.
Thank you very much, guys. Yesterday, Cloud9 managed to catch OMG off guard and beat them in the final group stage match for both of these teams. But the Chinese team has made adjustments and feel that they are ready to take them down in this best-of-3 series.
I'm actually really surprised we're able to pull the win yesterday against OMG. I would say it was due to our ability to play the early games a lot better than we were playing it the first day, and I think we were able to improve and learn from that.
C9 是一个适应能力非常强的队伍吧， 在昨天的比赛中，他们在中前期灌线以及控线都做得非常完美吧。
To beat OMG today, we have to just basically play really well. We can't make mistakes because they'll capitalize on them very hard. I think OMG will be sort of motivated to get revenge on us.
然后让我们有点意想不到吧。然后今天的话，我们也调整好了状态来迎接他们。
A change of mentality coming into today's game, and actually really interesting the story behind this one since they played last yesterday and are going to be here today in this first best of 3.
Yeah, and Going's take on it was very interesting as well. He specifically called out Cloud9's rotations and their mid-game control.
Well, we'll see if they can replicate that win that they pulled off yesterday. Now it's time to get into our first semi-final match of the All Star Paris Invitational. Let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side for Cloud9, in the top lane we have Balls. In the jungle, of course, is Meteos. Link takes the mid lane for them. And of course, Sneaky, the AD carry, and he will be supported by Lemon Nation. We'll see what they bring out to play today.
And on OMG, on the red side, they go up top with Going. Oh, look at that cheer from the crowd. There are a lot of Chinese fans here. Then in the jungle, they have Pomelo. At mid, it is Ji Young. Then for AD carry, they have Sun. And supporting, of course, it is Alan.
And now let's zero in on our featured matchup of the day. Two massive teams going head-to-head here. And for this semi-final, we are looking at the bottom lanes combined. Cloud9, Sneaky, and Lemon Nation versus OMG, Sun, and Alan.
Yeah, I mean, we have start off by talking about OMG's bottom lane. They showed no fear versus SKT, and they actually got an early lead in that game before being overtaken later. San has had a really good showing except for that game on Lucian, where he went 4-5-4. His other 3 games, he was 28-20 with Jinx. So, you know, throughout the LPL season, he has also been sort of an unsung hero for LMG. Meanwhile, Alan has received countless accolades for his Thresh game here at All Stars, and rightfully so. His kill participation was 100%. I was going to go more than 100. It was 100% kill participation there for Thresh, while also initiating for his team, going 1-3-19. And the bottom lane for Cloud9, though, we have to talk about this. Obviously, it is an integral part of their team. Sneaky has been huge as the AD carry, specifically with Twitch versus OMG in the last time these two teams met. He had the confidence to make several very aggressive engages versus OMG, as well as being able to win the lane 2 versus 2 after just a single gank from Meteos burned both of OMG's bot lane flashes. And with all of Sneaky's aggressive ambushes, the other half of Cloud9's bot lane has not been getting enough attention. Morgana is one of Lemonation's favorites and a key part of their long-range CC combo with Elise. Lemonation has been 5, 7, and 25. 75% kill participation on Morgana, extremely good as well. And he brings a ton of cooldown reduction. And with Lemon mastering his aim on those dark bindings, he keeps Cloud9's opponents constantly on the defensive, trying to dodge all of these extremely long duration crowd controls that they bring with that little combo that they have.
Yeah.
And Cloud9's favorite picks are very obvious because they have been a team to pick the same things over and over. They've got that Twitch. They've gone back to it. Twitch and Morgana, 3 out of 4 games, and it would have been 4 out of 4 if it wasn't banned.
Yeah, it definitely would be. And that makes you wonder, is it going to be then easier to ban them out? But you've got that trend almost across the map for Cloud9 as well. You know, Lulu in the mid lane, been a big pick for them. In the jungle, they've gone with Elise every single time, apart from when they themselves, of course, banned it out. And then Balls in the top lane had his Trundle at the start of this tournament was the big one for him. I think it's very hard to ban Cloud9 out just for the simple fact that you don't have enough bans.
And even if you know what you want to ban about Cloud9, their story has always been, we will use exactly the same champions over and over and over because they work over and over and over.
Yeah.
And people get this false sense that Cloud9 have limited champion pools. But they have deep champion pools. They have multiple strategies that they will bring out. They just won't bring them out until they're forced to.
Well, they may be forced to this time around. First ban coming out is, of course, Syndra. Ji Young played that incredibly well already here in Paris, and not something that Link obviously wants to deal with.
Yeah, I'd say this is probably going to be the most common ban against OMG. Definitely will be reoccurring. He had a wonderful showing on Syndra in the mid lane, especially when he gets those 1 versus 1 matchups.
So OMG's first ban taking him a little bit more time from this, but they do decide to take Kha'Zix away from the jungle. Means that Pamela won't get his hands on that. Meteos either. So what are Cloud9 going to go for? LeBlanc banned out. Again, focus in the mid lane.
Yep, they're definitely going to target Xiyang, and as Freak keeps saying, you know, that's a big part of the team there, so a good thing to focus for Cloud9. However, OMG have made a good adaptation here too. Not only banning out the Elise that Meteos has been going back to over and over, but also making sure that he doesn't back that up with Kha'Zix, because Kha'Zix is also just an all-around amazing jungler for everybody.
Oh, they've left Jax open here though. Final ban, by the way, for Cloud9 was Kassadin, just getting that out of the equation completely. Jax was the first pickup, insta-lock really by Cloud9.
Yes, as I said, Cloud9 have multiple strategies. They've themselves banned out Jax on blue side just because they were trying to run that poke-heavy team, that cooldown reduction, long range, hard CC. But they definitely have the ability to play Jax, and Balls has proven himself to be a world-class top laner. He definitely has the ability to carry a game himself, and Jax is one of the best champions to do that on.
And played it in recent memory, of course, in Game 2 and 3 against TSM in the playoffs and against Curse as well in the first semi-final. Well, let's move on to OMG, because they've picked up their bottom lane here, something that we focused on before the game, taking the Thresh and the Lucian straight away.
Yep, featured bottom lane here. They lock it in early. I like this pick because they're taking away the Lucian from Sneaky. Even though Sneaky has been going back to Twitch over and over and over, they know that they actually got the upper hand against SKT when he had Lucian, and they went for an early trade, and they got the Twitch behind early. So we'll see if Sneaky actually decides again to go with that Twitch, since their team has kind of been changed here. They won't have the Morgana or the Elise or a really tanky top lane. This is more of a carry top lane, in which case Cloud9 might want to go with a safer AD carry.
Well, taking their
Nope,
time
just
about this one. Yeah. Safer as in the same one, you know, repetition is always a good thing, keeps you safe. And also taking Evelyn here in the jungle for Meteos.
So that is a lot of invisibility here for Cloud9. I expect OMG to buy a lot of pink wards, upgrade their sweepers to Oracle lenses quickly. We'll see if Crepo will be satisfied, because vision control in this game is going to be even more important. They need to get wards down inside of camps to see where Meteos is going. Meteos has used Evelyn over and over to counter jungle so effectively.
Taking away Shyvana here for the top lane. Obviously that will be going up against Balls' Jax. That of course is if we see a standard lane setup, and we'll be facing him at least some point during the game a little bit later on. Also taking Lulu here for the mid lane. Interestingly enough, they of course are on the red side, so could counterpick whatever Cloud9 do decide to go within that mid lane, but deciding to take Lulu away from Link.
Even though Cloud9 have some really scary carries on their team so far in this pick ban, I feel like OMG are pretty happy with the way this one is going. They banned out some very, very key components of Cloud9's previous strategy, and they've taken away even more components, bringing that Lulu. But as many people have said, Link is a versatile mid laner, and they will be able to go poke if they need to.
So final two picks in then the Nidalee and Zyra, which is a champion that Lemon Nation has not really played. I mean, Zyra, of course, overall has been seeing less and less play, but it's the first time this season that we're going to see Lemon Nation play that one. Pamela actually locked in the Nunu jungle over on the other side for OMG.
Yeah, the key thing about your Zyra point for Lemon Nation is this season, because everybody remembers the Ashe Zyra that Cloud9 popularized. And Lemon Nation is very much at home on this champion. What this does is give them some good disengage. If you jump in on this poke comp, then the Zyra ulti is going to go down, and that, for Cloud9's sake, will hopefully buy them enough time to put out the Twitch damage. If he can get that spray and pray damage over people while they're knocked in the air, locked up by Zyra, then they can either buy time for Balls to split push, or they can actually just win that team fight because of the massive AoE.
And they're going to have, Jax in there, but we all know what happens to Jax if he gets rolling, or when he gets rolling, which is most of the time the case of it. Well, before we jump into the game, head over, guys, to Twitter and send a tweet to @LOL Esports with the team you think is going to win this series. Use the hashtags C9win or OMG win to let us know your choice, and we'll check in just a little while to see who you in fact picked for this one. The LOL Esports vote heavily in favor of Cloud9, which is kind of to be expected. Of course, you guys used to watching a lot of Cloud9 in the LCS, and I'm not sure if those numbers really represent how close this game is on paper.
And the thing is, that's Twitter, mostly English voting right here.
True.
If we included Chinese votes on the Chinese Twitter, as the analyst X was talking about, it would be pretty heavy OMG. So let's see. This is definitely going to be a close game.
And here we go. Cloud9 versus OMG, the semi-final of All Star Invitational 2014 here in Paris.
Now, you did point out that Nunu in Champion Select. I've been impressed by Pomelo's last use of this champion. He was able to get strong counter jungling done. However, this time around, they need hard engage if they want to get to the source of this Nidalee spear throwing. And it's really going to have to be a flank by going towards that late game into a Lulu Naka. Or more amazing hooks from Allen. So we'll have to see, once again, that vision point is going to be key for this game. Whoa.
So yeah, you weren't far wrong, Kobe, actually. The numbers actually getting bigger from the LOLesports.com vote from earlier, 79 to 21% in favor of Cloud9. We'll see how true that rings out. Of course, a best of 3, a marathon rather than a best of 1 sprint like we saw yesterday. I think that makes it a lot harder to achieve 2 or maybe even 3 times in a row here for Cloud9.
And it also increases the importance of adaptation, which we always say is the most important thing for League of Legends teams, and what going cited as one of Cloud9's biggest strengths.
So here it goes. The Invade walking up towards the
Big
enemy
balls.
red buff. Balls just face check straight into that one. Ziyang was spotted on the bottom side, so they knew there were max 4 people inside of that brush staying together. In the end, Cloud9 just go through, and they're going to come back. They didn't
they could actually stay there. Yeah. All right, round number 2 here.
And again, another face check straight in. No vision being put down.
Balls has Counter-Strike.
Of course, those... Oh, he's going to get the stun off here on towards Shyvana, but he's actually going to be separated by the rest of his team. Allen coming in from the side. Spear going to come around as well. They've managed to hook him towards Meteors. Ball's been focused on the backside, and a lot of damage being done across the board. No kills there. As the trinkets come into play there, we see a lot of vision being put down.
Now, let's see where Meteos goes, because it's pretty much impossible to steal away from Nunu level 1 if he starts off with Consume, but he did start off with Ice Ball, so there was a possibility of a Smite War there where there normally wouldn't be, but he doesn't even stick around to try and Smite, and he goes to steal away OMG's blue.
Allen's throwing out a...
Let's see if Shi-Young can actually see him here. He's got a ward, so yeah.
There. Yeah, can't actually get in and do anything about that one in the end, though. Shi-Young was spotted with that ward that was put down by Link just a moment before that all happened. So in the end, we see blue buff taken by Meteos. Pomelo started his own red, and now he's going to go for the Cloud9 red.
So this is as expected. Both junglers, both junglers stealing away blue buffs to try and even it out. Both of them want to start too. Cloud9 know that Nunu is probably doing this, so the top lane duo putting down that ward pretty early there. As you can see, Lemonation places in the bush. They won't want to get this dual lane turned around very early because this is crucial for both teams.
It's in level 2 there by the pickup of that blue buff, going a little bit low, but well, when you get that consume in there, not really going to be a problem for Nunu. In the end, we did see the lane swaps coming in, but for both teams, 2v2 left in the top lane this time.
Right, and that will be a focus probably for both teams. Meteos is level 3, slightly ahead of Pamel right now. The 2v2 up top, though, is shoved pretty close to the turret, so it's hard for him to gank there at this second. However, he has shown a propensity for ganking for that dual lane early on to try and get them going. Once they get a little lead, then they can handle themselves.
A lot of damage put down by Link there on towards Shi-Young. Already forced him to use both of his pots. Link still has his own, and well, he's Nidalee as well, of course, so he has that heal to keep him topped up this entire time. Junglers up until now not making their presence felt in either of the lanes, but as you said, this top lane pushed up, and we may see Pomelo actually head that way in just a moment after his golems.
So both junglers on the top side means that this bottom lane still left to their own devices, and Balls has accrued a very nice early lead here. Shoving the wave to get the experience advantage, that gives you the option in those 1v1s to shove your opponent off of the creep wave. And it's showing in the CS right now, which is very, very important because late game, if Jax is even with Shyvana, then he will be able to bully her in split pushing once he gets his blade and he has kill potential. Here comes Pomelo though, just with the speed up onto Allen so he can get in position for a hook.
Trying to get through there, was a little bit blocked by the minions as he weaves himself through there. In the end, not quite getting close enough. Meteos did come up to that top lane just to wait around in case anything happened. Didn't really do anything though.
Now look how much that gank accomplished. Cloud9 have to completely back off. They do not have much vision. It was a cannon wave for Cloud9, so it pushed against them. And they had to play very safe until the last possible second for them to go in for CS. Just walking by, Pomelo created a bit of pressure there for this OMG duo.
Nice slow start to this one. Pomelo just doing his Wraith camp, but he's going to keep on farming this one up. Actually, we can see that Pink Ward was picked up by Meteos. Does he want to get that into that top lane tri-bush? We'll see about that one in just a moment. He is headed towards that top side of the map.
And the lane now will be slowly pushing against Cloud9. So it's going to come closer and closer to their territory. This is what Meteos was waiting for. Pomelo looking for a counter gank though.
Yeah. This could be dangerous for them. His plant's doing some decent damage on towards Alan. Actually, Meteos is now backing away from that one, funnily enough, as OMG step forward once more. Cloud9 staying behind the minion line as to not get hugged by Alan. We said it before that he had 100% kill participation in the first game of All Stars where we saw him. And now, look at that. Meteos has seen Xiyoung going towards his top lane. That's a signal to back away. The hook comes through. Lemon Nation flashes it.
I love how Pomelo keeps giving the speed boost to Alan, because Alan can capitalize with hooks, as we saw there, earning himself a flash from Elimination. They will need to time that so that they can return to the bottom lane, as they've been focusing it pretty heavily here at the beginning.
Whoa, Link going very aggressive here, just jumping over the top of the wall, having to go at Xiyoung, and Xiyoung almost getting hit there by the spear. Good little dodge from his side of things. Just shows you that Link not afraid to go a bit more aggressive. Does have himself boots and the chalice compared to just the chalice of Xiyoung. And well, we see that comes from that CS lead. There's the solo laners, this time usual top laners that are down the bottom this time around, using their TPs to get back in lane.
Yeah, and as I said, this is going to be a power point for Cloud9. Ball's got a great start in that lane, and he has the advantage of also having Evelynn as his jungler. So just having Evelynn means that Going has to spend money on pink wards or play extremely safe and back off of those minion lines.
Oh, going all in here is Link on towards Xiyoung. Meteos still hanging around. Is he going to go offensive on this one? That's the constant danger with the Evelynn. You never know if that's just a bait from Link or whether he's actually alone and bitten off more than he can chew.
Now, speaking of adaptations, we do have an adaptation here from OMG. They recognize that this Jax will get out of hand if left unattended. They make the call to switch lanes here, sending the duo down bottom and transferring Going up top. Going has actually saved his teleport though. Balls used it to get back to the lane. So Going actually has the teleport advantage, even though it was a shorter cooldown for Balls teleporting to the turret.
Yeah, and the interesting one with that one is that you see Sneaky in the top lane. OMG sees Sneaky in the top lane. Not going for Dragon just yet though. Zyra had already come down towards this bottom side of the map. Jax, of course, is still there. Evelynn is on that side of the map, so wouldn't be a clear-cut decision now if they were to go for Dragon.
Evelynn has still not been able to clear out that pink ward though, so the one that was placed down bottom will still protect them. The thing is, Zyra has actually come down to support Balls for a little bit, and they're actually going to be probably switching off. Yeah, Balls is starting to recall and go back to base, so they're going to answer that swap down bottom, and they want to retain their advantage. By the way, Balls got this advantage by going full attack speed runes on Jax. He does not save any lifesteal quintessences, which people used to run on Jax quite a lot.
Oh, Linky going to take a lot of damage from this one. Not quite going to finish up, but they're going to dive in there. Going, using his ultimate very late in that encounter.
The reason Going went for that gank is because he recognized Cloud9 are answering the swap, and he does not want to face up against Jax in top lane again, so he decides to make some use of his time. However, because he burned his ulti, it's going to be harder for him now, even to match up against Jax. And Balls is probably going to continue to gain a lead up here. I mean, Going did a good job catching up because of the switch, but Balls is actually going to be able to push this wave into the turret now.
So in the bottom lane, that Pomelo had also come around there to maybe get involved with things. No real damage done to turrets anywhere on the map at this stage. And the duo's quite happy to farm things up. It's San that has the advantage in there with this one. Meteos now going back to that old standard of Cloud9 and going to help top.
And Gogoing has no ulti, remember, for this dive.
Oh, here they go. There goes the ultimate down. It's Balls that's tanking up the turret. It's a lot of damage coming into Gogoing. Balls himself goes pretty low. Well, they swap off the aggro, and the first blood goes to Meteos.
Classic Cloud9, no matter how many lane swaps you do for OMG, they will find you in that 1v1, and Meteos will tower dive with Balls. They get the kill. That is huge. The giant creep wave that would have pushed Gogoing even ahead of Balls in CS dies to the turret, and they get giant damage onto the turret. This is going swimmingly for Cloud9 so far.
And they should be able to finish off that tower as well. We saw Balls just going through, Meteos and Pomelo just meeting up. And there is the first turret of the game going down in favor of Cloud9. Leaves them with a 2k gold advantage.
Now, he did leave the wave as a cannon minion pushing there, so maybe Gogoing will freeze it and try and catch up that way.
That is a dead Lemon Nation, surely. Yes, the culling does finish him up. Now San trying to force Sneaky away, but Sneaky's done a hell of a lot of damage. There goes the passive out from Zyra. Not enough to actually get the finisher on them, though.
Yeah, Allen coming up big in the bottom lane. Evasive maneuvers for Lemon Nation, not quite enough. And OMG's bot lane, the featured matchup, do strike first here. Big pickup for them because the AD carries were dead even.
Well, leave Sneaky alone to do some free damage as Allen gonna go in here. They're gonna try and lock down Sneaky. He says, no, I'm just gonna ambush. You're basically not gonna be able to do anything to me. Just walks away from that one. San actually stuck around here before recalling because of that big wave that was pushing in.
Whoa, so is Meteos. He's coming in. Again, he finds Pomelo.
And actually doing some decent damage onto Pomelo. He knows that that bottom lane can't really stay and fight him, that the AD carry actually is completely backed away from that one. That pink ward's still in the brush. Now Cloud9 with those low HP players and a recall being seen going for Dragon.
So let's check in on that vision. OMG, because they got behind early, they were not able to get any green wards inside of Cloud9's camps, which is what they would want to keep track of Meteos. Or, besides that one defensive pink ward bottom, they haven't been able to get them anywhere else on the map. So the deep greens or the defensive pinks, not really there, and Meteos is able to traverse the entire map with immunity.
I have to give credit to Gogoing here in this top lane. Look at the farm, 83 to 80. Was looking like it was going to take a bit of a nosedive for him earlier on when he started to fall behind on that front, but he's really picked up that farm nicely and is only a couple of CS behind. Double Doran's Blade, Ninja Tabi for him, plus that long sword. Of course, on the other side, Ball's going straight in towards that Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah, that's going to be a scary point for Gogoing once he does complete the Blade of the Ruined King. At least Gogoing has been able to catch up in CS, and he does have the auto attack damage reduction for his Tabe. But Ball, as you can see, he's so confident here. He's letting the wave push against him. He wants to deny as many minions to Gogoing as possible.
Did he just ulti there, Gogoing?
He's still got a full red bar, so that's how you can tell if Shyvana's ulti up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Haha!
Aha.
Did you know?
I did. I just didn't look.
Meteos gets actually caught. He does not have immunity.
This is really, really bad for them. Sandwiched in. There's the ultimate from Gogoing. Can answer my question a second time. That's just a freebie kill for OMG.
All right, they took away his immunity. He's definitely vulnerable to damage. I was saying he's immune to slows because he can use his W to take them off, but just damage is going to do the trick there, and they do take him down a notch.
So, up in kills now are OMG, still behind the 2,000 gold though. Very interested to see how this bottom lane now develops in with the Blade of the Ruined King done there for Sneaky. The work into the Bloodthirster on the other side for San. And now Link trying to hold on to this mid lane turret, and that's a danger. Once Nunu gets involved there, they're doing so much more damage, so much quicker.
Yeah, trying to shove on Nidalee. Good idea here, using the Blood Boil with Lulu, but they get shoved off. And finally, here we go, Pomelo getting some vision down for the team inside blue, but it's a little bit too late here because Meteos is just running straight up the lane.
And they're gonna go all in here on towards Gogoing. He's got no ultimate available. Pomelo coming in around the side though. They're gonna try and stop this and push it back. Absolute Zero flashed away from by Meteos. In the end, they can't turn that into a kill. Don't lose anyone either though.
Yeah, they have to back off mainly because of the mid lane roam. Not actually too scared of the Nunu there, mostly because Shi Yang was able to walk up the river first and Link was behind them, so they could cut off and split that Cloud9 apart.
blue buff's being gifted over once again. Pomelo having the vision. We saw them put that down there before, but wasn't quick enough to actually get involved and have a go at trying to steal that blue buff away.
Yeah, right idea for OMG. Want to always try and deny blue buffs from Nidalee, as everybody knows, but unsuccessful there because of the little skirmish up top. And it did cost Midos his flash, but Cloud9 happy to have that blue buff on Link. He goes for, is this a blind steal? The ward just times out here, so blind steal here from Link. It's going to be very difficult to get through. Yes.
Got the little one. That was his, that's what he got.
That's what he was aiming for, right?
Yeah, had a few wards in there, which sadly for them did time out just before that blue buff was spawning in, so knew it was there, but didn't have the vision to actually have a real go at it. We should mention that Athenes is finished here for both Link and Shi-Young, and Shi-Young doing a good job of, so far, catching all these spears.
See if Link can get anything else. Nah, he's out of vision there, so he's going to be able to shove the lane in. One more wave will be lost. Actually, Midos gets called over, so they can try and take down this turret. Attack speed from Nidalee on herself. Once the minions get there, Midos can do the same for himself.
This is a free tower. Well, you say free. Obviously, the spears really helped to free that one up, but no, moving straight away for Shi-Young and having a hard time of keeping up as Ball's going to put down some good damage there onto Go-Going, who's headed straight up to that Sunfire Cape. He needs that defense in if he's going to hold on. There's a spear coming through, though. Will they try and follow through? I mean, these two champions are going to strip towers really, really quickly.
Yes, but a blue buff Lulu. I mean, OMG were able to secure that one, so that's big for them. Yeah. They have great wave clear down bottom.
Down into the bottom. Lemon Nation does throw his ultimate down, but Sneaky's the focus. Lemon Nation's already left him there. Knew he was going to go down. It's Pomelo that gets the kill.
And Pink Ward dropped. There was no way Sneaky was getting out of this one. Great move from OMG. They get pressure on the bottom turret. Cloud9 need to answer on the other side here. Meteos is just sort of walking around this red side jungle.
Tower is definitely going down. Go-Going is back into his top lane as well to protect it from balls. Meanwhile, Link actually having a good go on towards Shi-Young. Here comes Meteos from around the side. Wild Growth use on himself, and that is possibly him going down here. The pounds back in, an auto attack to finish. Link picks up a nice kill.
Yeah, Meteos walking around that red jungle. Perfect timing for him because Shi-Young goes aggressive on Link. Tired of catching spears, wanted to make him back off, but it was the wrong time for them. And that's what I was talking about. Because you just have an Evelynn on your team, it usually just makes solo laners play more defensively and not go aggressive like that. There was actually, at one point, a pink ward in that red side bush for OMG, but because there was so much time spent roaming around from Cloud9, they actually cleared that one out previously.
Going there, just forcing that wave all the way back. Balls, of course, has had it up towards the tower a couple of times now. But the next thing coming onto the map, the next big thing is, of course, that dragon. Just a couple of seconds till that comes into play. As the scan going down, Lemon Nation will be able to finish off this ward. And that gives a little bit less sight for OMG. But they've got Nunu just walking back and forth in that area. Two top laners both have teleport there.
Yeah, Jax could come down here and they snag him. Teleport on the plant.
There we go. Teleport coming in from that side. Alan realizes it and has to jump completely away from that one. But that gives Cloud9 now 5 men down at the bottom. To be honest, Go-Going has to get involved. He is going to be TPing in. He comes into the top side. We see the Colin coming from the bottom. They hook him balls. Can they finish him off though? Half HP as he leap strikes away. Go-Going goes right in there. There's a disengage from Cloud9, but there's a lot of damage coming out to Sneaky. He's been enough more than he can chew. He's going to go down to San, and they keep going through as well. Alan got the hook, but he'll pay the price with his life. They're going to keep chasing this one through, and they get Zyra as well. That's a double kill for Ji-Young.
And the dragon for OMG. That should be an easy take for them. Even though Meteos is still alive, it would be suicide to go for this steal. That was a costly mistake from Cloud9. How many times have we seen teams with the Nidalee going for these mid-game dragons? It's very curious. They should have been counting on the teleport coming from Go-Going, and they really overextended there. Sneaky actually gets sectioned off from the team here, which is probably the main reason it didn't work out. He opens onto San, but the team is split, and Sneaky actually ends up between the rest of the team and San, and he has nowhere to get out. Another great hook from Alan, landing here, awarding another kill, even though it cost him his life. Definitely worth it. Not only do they kill Link, but they get his blue buff off.
Getting that blue buff, always a nice addition to all those kills and the dragon that follows straight up afterwards. So let's check back in with the gold. We said earlier on about 2,000 was the lead for Cloud9. That is considerably shrunk with the kills and the dragon gold as well.
Oh, Balls is in trouble.
Ball's actually going up aggressive, but if you notice the minimap, Alan off to the side. I think in the end they were a little bit scared of going for Balls. That Blade of the Ruin King is in there for him now.
Look at this vision, though. I mean, Alan's done a good job. He's got a lot of wards down here. They will see the spawn of this blue, and they definitely want to contest it. Everybody from Cloud9 is down bottom. If Link can get this, it would be amazing. There's no way.
Nah, not got the damage there to finish off quick enough. He's going to try and spear through. That was real close, but in the end, just made it faster for OMG to actually get that one. And it is Xiong who just refreshes that blue buff from earlier.
Cloud9 have to be careful. OMG have caught right back up here in gold. I guess they're going to make the move down bottom. We'll see if he can actually catch Lucian. There's no summoner spells.
Actually using his ultimate very, very late on this one, trying to get Sneaky to catch up with it. Damage comes in from it, and it will be Sneaky with the use of the ultimate to get the kill. OMG are pushing the mid lane. Cloud9 are pushing the inner turret in the bottom lane.
Cloud9 really needed that kill. It is going to give them pressure on the bottom lane. Looks like they are using these SKT skins to channel SKT's ability to trade different objectives. They go aggressive on the other side of the map, and they are rewarded. Now they're creating so much pressure on the inhibitor turret that they only... Oh, wow, they back off just because of Pomelo.
Yeah, Pomelo did go back from that one. He's the last, the first one to recall in. Thresh joined him a little bit afterwards. Meanwhile, Balls and Go-Go in this entire time sticking in the top lane. You see that Go-Go has done a fantastic job. There's a spear steal. That's what you like to see, and Link can say, well, you got my blue up, but I'll get revenge.
His team was starting it up for him, so... Balls, though.
In trouble here, gonna get slowed down completely. Flashes, are they gonna chase him? Xiong gets the kill, does flash over the wall in the end.
These are the trades that are so common now in this open map of League right now, where all these towers going down. You're constantly having to trade back and forth. Blue buff for Cloud9, taken away from OMG, but they send everybody top, get a kill on the end game carry here, setting Jax a little bit further behind.
He's got his Sheen in there working up towards that Trinity Force, almost got the Phage in there as well, and Link has just gone back home, needlessly large rock, blasting one, going straight up to the Rabadon's Deathcap on top of his Athene's Unholy Grail. On the other side, Deathcap is actually done with Sorcerer's Shoes as well as an Amp Tome as well for Xiong.
Let's see what he will build with that. Probably the Void Staff. Those are what we like to think of as the Trinity. Oh, Sneaky was there, and they have a little bit of vision. Close, because both teams wanted to go aggressive. You can see the mentality of both of these teams. They're tied up in gold, even though it's 4 versus 7 in kills. They each want to take the advantage right now.
Go and takes a good chunk of damage here, but he's the tanky one on the team again.
Pink ward.
Sneaky out of position completely. Absolute Zero going to strip him down. Xiong actually gets the finisher, and that will put him onto a rampage. That's bad news. OMG are turning around. They're going to Baron.
Yeah, positioning really, really costing Cloud9 a lot so far. Sneaky, again, not in the right place this game. It's been a much worse story for him than the first go-around. He's been a little bit aggressive, and it hasn't paid off.
So they move up towards Baron, something that OMG have done very well in LPL. Force teams to come in there and check that one out. This time around, it was, of course, the spear that came through and just clattered against Alan, almost taking him out. And that obviously then means that OMG don't want to be sticking around and thinking that one. Still early doors in this game, 23 minutes 45 on the clock. There is Go continuing to farm himself up a stone. Some Fire Cape is done, got a Negatron Cloak, got the Cutlass in there as well. Actually picking up home guards here because he's been back and forth on that top side. Makes sense for him.
He's moving around so much to get CS in the places that are safe for the team, and they've fed a lot of money into him because they need a good tank towards the late game. This OMG team, they like to team fight, and this is, again, sort of a classic combo for them. They have a strong team fight team, whereas Cloud9, they have the split push advantage and they have the poking advantage, but they need to actually set up and poke to take advantage of the strengths of this team. Their goals are to land several Nidalee Spears before the fight breaks out.
Alan predicted that too well almost. Lemon Nation didn't actually move where it was thought it was going to be, so Spear didn't connect, but they're setting up a death rush. They're going to hook into Balls. Colin comes through as well. Balls loses half HP instantly. They're going to push through onto it. Wild Growth knocks him up, and Going actually flashing in. They want to keep pushing down on this one. Sneaky is there. Cloud9 going to try and just push them back off from it. It's 5 versus 4, and again, OMG go direction Baron, and are going to try and bait C9 in.
Exactly, they take advantage of the vision in the mid game around Baron. Classic OMG, they love winning fights around that Baron with their team fighting team. They've done it so many times. Successful once again, they get another pick from Allen.
Allen waiting off to the side on this one. They pick up the kill onto the Zyra plant. Baron is going pretty low from this one, but those spears from the backside gonna be a problem.
Flash.
Yeah, he has his flash, he has his ultimate, he's got his smite, he's got everything to really make an impact on this one, as we are going to see the TP in as well. Ball's now going to join the action, but it's already done. OMG have picked up the Baron. San actually right in the middle of the team. They're doing great here, Cloud9. OMG are trying to run away from this one. Pomelo gonna flash over the backside. Link needs to make the jump, does make the jump, needed a run up to it, and it's all going to be whether it can land a spear. In the end, they get out of range. They lose the one man for it, but they get Baron.
Huge win for OMG right there. They get the Baron only for one guy, just Allen going down. Really big pickup for them. Cloud9 trying to answer, though, again, the trade of objectives. Because you get so low after that Baron, they're going to get the consolation prize here. Dragon will help a bit as far as the gold and catching up. But definitely, it is Cloud9 going to be play a little bit more defensively here.
Hopefully, from their side of things. We have seen another European LCS team that won't be named. There's only one. It's not that hard to figure out who did fight up a Baron up team for other objectives around the map. Not going to happen here for Cloud9, though. As you said, 4 minutes, sit back, defend a little.
There are no more objectives on the map for Cloud9 to fight over, so hopefully they do not get too ahead of themselves, and it looks like they will go defensive now. Let's take a look here. Xiyoung has almost completed that Void Staff, so they'll probably wait for him to actually finish that off, because it's he should have enough money to complete it. Okay, there we go.
Going, just making sure that bottom lane doesn't go too far up. Cloud9, of course, swooped in for that inner turret earlier on in the game as OMG were pushing a little bit indecisively in the middle lane. And in the end, cut them off before they got on towards that inhibitor turret. Sun trying to get himself as much as he can here before going in. Berserker Greaves added into that Bloodthirst that the Trinity Force done. And a bit of defensive statistics in there as well, starting Negatron Cloak here.
Yeah, he has, well, let's see, what was it, TPA. They had a Negatron Cloak pretty early on BB because they wanted him to carry. OMG, a lot of their damage comes from San, so a Negatron Cloak on him going to help out if he does turn out to be the unfortunate recipient of any spears from Link. They can't afford to have San go down because late game they will not have much else as far as damage is concerned. Right now, bottom lane.
I was going to say, Sneaky's got a friend in there. Meteos was waiting inside of the brush. Going coming through, but he is really, really quite tanky. A Banshee's Veil in there for him. And OMG, with that two-man distraction, get the inner tower.
Yeah, that gank is going to cost them a lot of pressure mid. They have to immediately recall.
Oh, Pomelo going very, very deep on this one. They've managed to force Link to back away. The turret not being focused completely just yet, but we see as San and Xiyoung turn their attention to it. They strip off half of its health.
They've got enough time here. The inhibitor did not go down. That does regenerate slowly over time if Cloud9 can protect it. They also got a turret with their split pusher balls. Again, Cloud9 trying to play to the strengths. The goals of this team are to use that Jax for split push and have the disengage of Zyra buy them enough time for the rest of the four-man squad. Has worked out for the first round, but still Baron buff on OMG. Cloud9 cannot afford to even go into their own jungle right now.
All walled up here. OMG doing a great job on that front. Are they going to be backing away? I think they've got a decent amount of gold to actually be spending by now on this one. Turn some of those big items in. Still going pushes in the top side as well. So lane's pushing on two fronts. Dangerous here for Cloud9.
It looks like OMG are not forcing anything right now. They're just doing a split push for all of the lanes. They're getting a lot of experience. They're getting all 3 lanes worth of experience and gold, though. So they are making use of the time of their Baron buff, but it's just not translating into pressure on top of turrets at the moment. Now, I talked about the damage for this OMG team. They actually have a really good combo here, which is Blood Boil plus Pix onto an AD carry. Not only does Pix add the damage for the AD carry, but also the attack speed bonus will get even more out of that. And San is just so crucial for this team to hype him up as the mid-game team fight powerhouse. He's also going to start needing some armor penetration. So I think he'll probably get that before he even makes something out of that Negatron cloak that he's got.
Link being absolutely hammered there by the Culling. The rest of OMG going to start to move down, and I think if Cloud9 actually spot him, they could well end up just backing away completely from this one and letting the tower go.
Yep, they have secured this bottom turret. Jax is split pushing up top, and they want to force him to do something. His teleport's not quite up right now, so he's not going to burn it. He's going to try and shove into the inhibitor turret. So it's pretty much just a 1 for 0 here as far as objectives are controlled. Looking at the items, though, there's not a lot of armor even on Cloud9 right now, so maybe he won't run into that Last Whisperer as quickly as I thought. He's upgrading the boots first, then going into pickaxe.
See where that leaves us then. The overall picture, we've gone past the half an hour point on this game. The goal, as it currently stands, is almost bang level, 48.2 thousand to 48.1. So really the slimmest of leads in terms of that one, but see that the items coming in, that Void Staff on Lulu, we already saw how much damage actually Xion can actually do right now, and he's working his way up further in the item builds. Meanwhile, OMG moving now in position to start preparing for the next spawn in this Baron. Get more wards down, try and clear out as much as you can.
Looks like they've chosen top side. Alan doing work, trying to clear out wards. Actually leaves the pink one there.
Yeah.
Didn't walk into it. The sweeper will not reveal things that are already visible.
Oh, Hog coming through. They pick off Lemon Nation, but not really got the rest of the team there to help out. Meteos has to pop his speed boost there as the pressure comes in from the side. The Culling, a little bit out of aim, let's just say there, and actually just cancelled that one off, realizing he wasn't actually going to be hitting anything. Tower is already down to half HP, and this is the last turret outside of the base now that's up for Cloud9.
Yeah, they're having a really hard time defending anything that is not inhibitor turret. And going and OMG get one more turret down, the last outer turret. Plus a blue buff steal, great for them. Keeping it away from Link. Now, the Xion build that you mentioned here, he's adding in the Lichbane as 4th item, so that will actually add more late game damage, more scaling to him. Adding on another AP scaler to Lulu is very good for them, adding another strong damage source for the team to back up going inside. Oh, balls in the middle again!
Onto him, he's going to have to jump away. Going, trying to chase around Lemon Nation. Gets separated from the rest of the team, but it's Meteos now that they actually end up focusing on. Balls again hooked in by Alan. Balls is going to go down. San gets that one. Sneaky damaging him. Meteos has been bullied by Pomelo and going. It's not a fast takedown, but they will get it in the end. Lemon Nation somehow still alive and running away from it, but San will continue to chase here. And Lemon Nation, what's he going to do? He's going to try for the recall. And he seems to have completely fooled Sun into this one. Is he going to be able to get in? No! Out of range.
Yeah, the story here. Oh no, Link gets caught trying to go for a kill on Alan.
Trying and gets it as well in the end. Xion now moving in. That's going to be another one. Godlike is Lulu. 7-1-3. OMG turning for Baron with its 3-man team.
Again, Baron comes up. Great ward coverage from OMG. Force Cloud9 into a situation where they don't want to give away Baron, but they can't see very well. They are forced to sporadically invade this Baron from different sides, and you can see Lemon Nation's ulti that they want to be the main part of their team and knock everybody up actually gets spread out by OMG, and they pretty much all avoid that knock up. From that point, there's nothing for Cloud9 to do.
Taking the second Baron of this game as well, and that is a big push for OMG. 4,000 gold, 3,500. It'll be forged in just a second. You see that dragon being taken out. Last time that the Baron went down, of course, Cloud9 got that consolation dragon. They're not going to get either of them this time. And we see there as the wave in that bottom is now pushing up. They're going to back away. Probably use this time to spend a bit of that gold that they've just got with all those kills and the Baron pickup.
C9 may be going for a Fnatic-style bush camp here. Only 3 members, though. It would be dangerous, and they would need to just catch a single person face-checking this bush. Meteos was the only one able to get this far into lane.
And they just backed away. No problem there for them. No sneak attack gonna be enough to pick them up. Funnily enough, with all those towers down, oh, there's a ward there. That could actually end up being dangerous, but this stage of the game, blue goes down very, very quickly. Alan moving around. Meteos has that Banshee's Veil on, so he's gonna at least get away from one thing, but not from the hook. Alan goes playing in. There is the knockup, but Meteos is taking all the damage from the back and will end up falling. Going now gets himself the killing spree.
Alan again on Thresh has been outstanding for the team. This is a 7-1 Shi Young as well. OMG are steadily rolling toward Cloud9's base right now. Let's see, Meteos was just getting caught because of the blue steal. Great ulti from Going as well as hook there from Alan. And there's no escape for the Cloud9 jungler.
And they used Lemon Nation's ultimate as well. Not the longest cooldown, that's for sure, but they could need it in the following moments because OMG are already pushing that bottom lane out towards the inhibitor turret. And look at the position on the map. Sneak is in the mid lane. Jack's up on the top side. If OMG move fast here, they might have the damage to just finish off the tower.
Yeah, and even in the top side, Going is such a beast. They've gotten him so far ahead that it's not a problem for him up there with Balls. And they can go toe-to-toe right now. They're actually exchanging. Balls is chasing him, but the OMG whole team are getting the inhibitor. They've got one down now. It's pretty close.
Ball's going for Going, but has he got the damage here to actually take him down? I don't think he actually does, and I think realizing that himself decides, you know what, I'm just going to back away from things. OMG have just moved from that bottom in towards the mid lane. We saw how quick that last inhibitor turret went down. They've got sneaky there this time, though. That's the difference. Not a 4 versus 3 as it was in the bottom lane, but at least a 4 versus 4, albeit with OMG having Baron.
Oh, here we go. This re-engage. Going actually was able to get up there. I think he used his teleport with his home guards. The home guard teleport. Dragon gets his revenge.
Gonna finish off Balls, though. He's having a big run, but there's a big team fight breaking out. Meteos trying to focus on Sasan, but he's running into all the Colin damage. Does get the heal, but he's gonna fall. That's a double kill now for Sun, and Sneaky is on that bottom side. Actually, Shi Young went to the top to finish off Jack. Sneaky trying to get away, does get into the ambush. There is the pulling onto Link. Is he gonna go down? Yes, he is. Sun on a rampage. That's 4 kills for 1. For OMG.
OMG just cleaning up. This should probably be the game for them. They can run right into Cloud9's base. They've got over 30 seconds. I guess Lemon will be coming up, but we've seen how ineffective so far the Zyra disengage has been. It's going to at least be all 3 inhibitors.
Yeah, Sun going to take down that mid one. The top one already being worked on as well. Pomelo just helping out with his Blood Boil. And this may be the finisher. 30 seconds for Link, 17 seconds still left here on Balls until he comes back into the game. And there's the push through. San just destroying Lemon Nation. Even gets the kill there on the fountain at the end. And that surely will be game. First Nexus turret's been focused and going down. And there we are, on to the Nexus itself. OMG pick up game number 1 here in the semi-final.
What a strong showing from OMG. Every member on the team doing what's required of them. Going was able to get farm the entire game. He got extremely tanky towards the end, and he plays so smart. Taking the exchange with Jax, he knew he couldn't win it straight up 1 versus 1, but he gets him down to half, and then uses his home guard TP to re-engage and get the advantage, actually killing Balls up there with the help of Shi Young, who, by the way, ends 8-1-5. A huge force from the mid lane. And as well, our featured matchup, the bottom lane, obviously going to OMG. Alan coming up with his big Thresh plays, and San definitely doing that carry role.
Are they going to have to rethink the ban and pick phase here? Because they focused a lot on Shi Young, and he's like, what up, I'm just going to play Lulu and destroy you. I mean, if you're going to put 3 bans right on top of him, you've got to expect that, or it has to have an impact on how that game goes out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, OMG are constantly running these very strong 5v5. They're very solid team comps, it feels like, because they run with a Nunu plus Shyvana plus a Thresh. I mean, that's just such a solid front line for them. And they can count on a support mid laner plus San. They've got plenty of different damage sources, and so their team fight's always very strong. Whereas Cloud9's team this time around, it feels a little bit flimsy just because they have Jax, who has to get going, a bunch of farm, and as well Nidalee, who's a kind of a different style, have to poke first. So if this team for Cloud9 doesn't get going early, they don't get that lead and they don't get fights where they have to poke first, spears don't land, they can't really do much with that. Also doesn't help that Sneaky was getting caught a couple times.
Yeah, a little bit out of position. That dragon fight where, you said it yourself just a moment ago that if you've got the Nidalee, you've got to poke before you go into an area like Dragon to think about fighting. Incredible, incredible first game performance here by OMG. We're going to head over, though, to the analyst desk where Quickshot and the gang are chomping at the bit to break down OMG's first win of the series.
Thank you very much, Joe. I actually am chomping at the bit because the very first thing we want to talk about is the picks and bans, is the composition, and is the game plan that both of these teams went into the match with. I would like to remind everybody that on the side of Cloud9, they banned out 3 mid lane champions. They banned Syndra, they banned LeBlanc, they banned Kassadin. On the other side, OMG made Meteos their very strong focus. They took out Kha'Zix and Elise,
And his jungle
as
Morgana.
well as Jungle Morgana, of course, denying that from elimination. But a clear strategy. I want to actually talk about the pick order. If we can pull that graphic up onto your screens right now, what we're going to do is break down the picks and bans of each of the respective teams. Monty, you were not completely sold by the Nidalee pick. Crepo, you were not completely sold by the Zyra pick. Monty, kick us off.
Yeah, the Nidalee pick is awkward. I'm never a fan of Twitch and Nidalee in the same composition because you just can't siege with Twitch, and that's what Nidalee is best at. So basically, you have to set up for a hard CC onto a target so Nidalee can hit with the spear, and then you can set up the pick. I think here also, Link did get an advantage in lane because Jiyoung didn't play that well in the laning phase, but Twisted Fate, I think, would have been much better for this composition because you want to split push here. You want to create the picks with Twitch and Jax in the side lanes, and they could have used that Twisted Fate mobility to just continually pick up kills and never even allow the team comp from OMG to group and team fight in the first place.
One thing also that they could have done in a different sense is when we saw the team was actually break out, OMG forcing the 5v5s, CLG taking a dragon they shouldn't have. They had every opportunity to, instead of grabbing Evelynn on Meteos, take the Lulu here for Link, because Jax died at the beginning of basically every fight without having real support there, and like Lulu would have worked in that situation. The fact that they went early Evelynn, like, I know Cena will always just like pick the same champion over and over again, but what if Meteos' champion pool was actually only 3 champions and he had to get that one?
Yeah, I agree with what's being said so far, especially the part where Nidalee shouldn't get as much of a lead against Jiyoung's Lulu here. I think we've seen enough of these champions already, so we can call the graphic down as we continue.
That's right. Give the fans what they really want. Crepo.
Yeah, exactly. On the topic of Zyra, I think within this composition, she was a good pick because they desperately needed to disengage. And ideally, what you want is whenever an overeager Shyvana jumps in, you place the Zyra ulti, zone their enemy team out. The thing is, OMG played around that pretty well, and the reason I don't like Zyra is because I feel if she ever gets hooked in lane, she's dead immediately. The only exception is that Twitch is actually pretty good at dealing damage for 2 on lane. But you could still see, even after a bad trade level 1, Lucian got chunked down all the way down. But still, Alan and Sun together, they just lane really well. I still don't agree that they gave Sneaky Twitch, though. They should just get rid of the Twitch.
Yeah.
Get an early Lucian, especially now on
How can you say that? It didn't matter. He was caught out of position. He was jumped on.
But that's because Cloud9's vision control was lacking, and I feel both teams didn't play up to... I don't think OMG was so much better than Cloud9. I feel Cloud9 just dropped a metaphorical vision ball, and just at one point Jax based, and he didn't sell his Dorans for wards. If I'm a support and I'm looking around the map, like I'm trying to ward everything, and I see my team just having Doran's items 20 minutes in the game and not wards, sell those Doran items, buy wards, save lives, win games.
Well, the thing is, Cloud9 also made the mistake Fnatic actually made against Cloud9 when they had the Nidalee pick. They started up the dragon. When OMG is actually nearby, they're going for the team fight, and of course they lose it. And we talked about how OMG's come here. If they get 1 kill in a team fight, they will chase you forever because they're so mobile. Nunu is fast, Shyvana is fast. Everyone can just chase after you. And that's what they did. So, big mistake by Cloud9. That's where they actually gave over the map control to OMG as well.
Right, and that's the crazy thing about this is that they were actually winning both of their solo lanes in this game, and there's not really a need to go in on that dragon and try and take it when you could just keep up that split pushing that you're already going to be successful on, because Jax had that big advantage in the early game. He had the level edge on Shyvana. He He was doing really, really well with his items. He could have split pushed forever. And also, Shyvana's early itemization was really subpar. She went Ninja Tabby, 2 Doran's Blades, and a Vamp Scepter, and she was just getting bullied out of lane.
Early home guard as well.
And early home guard as well.
Yeah, a lot of money spent there. So actually, we have a replay of the Dragon fight we've all been talking about. If we can get that replay up on your screen. I want to talk about what kind of went silly here. So Cloud9, right, they've got a poke composition. They've got right, Nidalee there, and as we saw from like the North American playoffs, for example, if you engage the Dragon without having your entire opposing team on one side of you, then you're going to be in for a bad time. You can see the teleports coming in just now. You can see that on the minimap. Well, let's roll this clip out right now. Watching the bottom right, Lucian's already flanking. This pulls Sneaky to 1v1. I'm just going to watch the bottom right side for now because Balls is forced back, but there's no damage coming from Twitch until now, but he's already on top of the enemy team. Gets ice blasted right away. Shyvana flashes in. Sneaky, basically Son pulled Sneaky away, pulled off the AD carry, and then the entire rest of the team got to collapse down. You can see now the Whimsy, the ice blasts. It's easy to chase down at this point, but this was basically Cloud9 suckering themselves into getting flanked with a poke composition, which is the worst thing possible.
Yeah.
And then Twitch, single target damaging off from the side.
Yeah, and even worse, I mean, Cloud9 was supposed to be the team to do the engage because they're Wave lane, they're the one who needs to flank around. But the Nuno pick here actually we saw, I think that was the reason they left Twitch open, and they would have Nuno just snowball him in the team fight in the start to stop his spray and pray for doing all the damage he could, and they would try and shut him down. And then again, because they were so mobile, once they got on top of Twitch, there's nothing he can do. They can just collapse onto him and just kill him. And we saw it here. Sneaky, slightly out of position, I think we can safely say. And then as soon as the snowball was on him, he was dead.
Yeah, that's something I missed initially when watching these compositions is the amount of hidden mobility. Coming out of Lucian, the Lucian can dash forward, Thresh can get people in different places, Lulu and Nuno can chase really easy, slow people down. But the biggest factor, I mean, why these teamfights go so successfully is Alan. Because he's the first guy to land that hook, and that allows his team to just zerg all over the enemy team, then reposition people with Lantern. He landed consecutive hooks on balls in fights 3 times in a row. He's just Thresh God.
Well, for the very last question, OMG, of course, did pick up a win here. They're continually finding success with heavy team fight compositions. This is a comp that we've actually seen Cloud9 run similar sort of champions. It's a comp that they beat Fnatic with yesterday. What does Cloud9 have to do to think about not letting that happen in the next game?
Well, first off, if we go back to the Allen on Thresh here, I'm happy with the first 2 bans from Cloud9. Take away Syndra, take away LeBlanc, but don't ban Kassadin. OMG has banned it themselves. I've never seen Young play Kassadin in LPL either. Just take the chance, leave it open, ban away the
Cloud9 leaving Kassadin open has...
In the playoffs? Yeah, that can...
No, I'm honest. I would do it.
Well, here's the other thing, though, is that coming into the game, they are on red side, so basically they'll have that last ban option, and they may be able to psych out OMG into banning the Kassadin on blue side, just because they're going to have their final ban first. So, but I agree. We said this before the game. Allen has not been great when he hasn't been on Thresh. Force him onto another pick.
Very quickly before we move on, Crepa.
Yeah, just C9 needs to go back to their original forte, which is their vision control. They need to get better vision and play better with that vision, and then they can do it.
We'll see if they can get the metaphorical vision ball back in their hands. Guys, with that win, OMG are now 1 game away from securing their spot in the All Star Finals. We'll see if they can get it done coming up in Game 2, or if Cloud9 can come back. We've been showing you fans around the world how they're enjoying All-Star event in all different ways. And here's a group of fans at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, turning a classroom into their own viewing party. Be sure to share the way you watch these matches by tweeting your photos to @LOL Esports with the hashtag All-Star. But make sure you do your homework. We'll be right back.
It's Saturday.
From the bottom, they hook him balls. Can they finish him off though? Half HP as he leaps strikes away. Going goes right in there. There's a disengage from Cloud9, but there's a lot of damage coming out. So Sneaky, he's been enough more than he can chew. He's gonna go down to San, and they keep going through as well. Alan got the hook, but he'll pay the price with his life. They're gonna keep chasing this one through, and they get Zyra as well. That's a double kill for G1.